Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most pivotal moments in religious and world history, the fall of Constantinople. Picture this. A city that stood for over 1,000 years as the heart of the Byzantine Empire, a beacon of Christianity, and a symbol of imperial power. But in 1453, everything changed. The mighty Ottoman Empire, led by the ambitious Sultan Mehmed II, set its sights on this legendary city. What followed was a siege that would change the course of history forever. Why does this matter? Well, Constantinople wasn't just a city, it was a religious and cultural crossroads. It was where East met West, where Christianity and Islam clashed, and where empires rose and fell. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and the beginning of Ottoman dominance in the region. But it wasn't just a military conquest, it was a religious and cultural transformation. So, grab a seat, because we're about to unravel the epic story of how the Ottomans took over Constantinople and turned it into Istanbul. From the massive cannons that shattered its walls to the final moments of the Byzantine Empire, this is a tale of ambition, faith, and destiny. Let's get into it. Before we get to the fall of Constantinople, we need to understand the rise of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans started as a small Turkic principality in the late 13th century, but by the 15th century, they had become a major power in the region. Under the leadership of Sultan Mehmed II, also known as Mehmed the Conqueror, the Ottomans were ready to expand their empire. Mehmed II was only 21 years old when he set his sights on Constantinople. But don't let his age fool you. He was a brilliant strategist and a man with a vision. He wanted to make the Ottoman Empire the dominant force in the region, and Constantinople was the key. The city was strategically located, controlling the trade routes between Europe and Asia. But it was also a symbol of Christian power, and Mehmed wanted to turn it into a symbol of Islamic dominance. To prepare for the siege, Mehmed assembled a massive army and built some of the largest cannons the world had ever seen. These cannons, known as the basilica, were capable of firing massive stone balls that could shatter the thick walls of Constantinople. Mehmed also built a fleet of ships to blockade the city from the sea. But the Ottomans weren't just relying on brute force, they also used psychological warfare. Mehmed knew that the people of Constantinople were deeply religious, so he spread rumors that the city's fall was inevitable, and that it was the will of Allah. This created a sense of fear and uncertainty among the defenders. By the time the siege began in April 1453, Constantinople was surrounded. The stage was set for one of the most epic battles in history. The siege of Constantinople began on April 6, 1453, and it was unlike anything the world had ever seen. The Ottomans had an army of around 100,000 men, while the defenders of Constantinople numbered only about 7,000. But despite the odds, the Byzantines were determined to defend their city to the last man. The Ottomans started by bombarding the city's walls with their massive cannons. The basilica, in particular, caused massive damage, shattering parts of the walls and creating breaches that the Ottomans could exploit. But the Byzantines were quick to repair the damage, using whatever materials they could find to patch up the walls. The siege dragged on for weeks, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The Ottomans tried several times to storm the city, but the Byzantines managed to repel them every time. The defenders were led by the Emperor Constantine XI, who fought alongside his men and inspired them to keep fighting. But the Ottomans had one major advantage: their navy. Mehmed had built a fleet of ships that blockaded the city from the sea, cutting off supplies and reinforcements. The Byzantines tried to break the blockade, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. By the end of May, the situation in Constantinople was desperate. Food and supplies were running low, and the defenders were exhausted. But they refused to give up. They knew that this was their last stand, and they were willing to die for their city. On May 29, 1453, the Ottomans launched their final assault on Constantinople. Mehmed II ordered his troops to attack the city from all sides, using every weapon at their disposal. The Ottomans had built siege towers and ladders to scale the walls, and they used their cannons to create even more breaches. The Byzantines fought bravely, but they were overwhelmed by the sheer number of Ottoman troops. The Ottomans managed to breach the walls in several places, and they poured into the city. The defenders were forced to retreat, and the fighting moved into the streets of Constantinople. Emperor Constantine XI led a final charge against the Ottomans, but he was killed in the fighting. With their emperor dead, the Byzantines lost their last hope of victory. The Ottomans continued to push forward, and by the end of the day, they had taken control of the city. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, which had lasted for over 1,000 years. The city was renamed Istanbul, and it became the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. The Hagia Sophia, the Grand Cathedral of Constantinople, was converted into a mosque, symbolizing the city's transformation from a Christian stronghold to an Islamic center of power. The fall of Constantinople had a profound impact on the world. It marked the end of the medieval era and the beginning of the Renaissance, as many Byzantine scholars fled to Italy and brought with them ancient Greek and Roman texts. But it also had a major impact on the religious landscape of the region. With the conversion of the Hagia Sophia into a mosque, Istanbul became a symbol of Islamic power in the region. The Ottomans also encouraged the spread of Islam throughout their empire, and many Christians converted to Islam to avoid persecution. But the fall of Constantinople also had a lasting impact on Christianity. The loss of the city was seen as a major blow to the Christian world, and it led to a sense of crisis among European powers. Many saw the fall of Constantinople as a sign that the Muslim world was on the rise, and it spurred calls for a new crusade to reclaim the city. In the end, the fall of Constantinople was a turning point in history. It marked the end of one era and the beginning of another, and it changed the religious and cultural landscape of the region forever. Today, the fall of Constantinople is remembered as one of the most important events in history. It marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and the rise of the Ottoman Empire, and it had a profound impact on the religious and cultural landscape of the region. But the legacy of Constantinople lives on. The city, now known as Istanbul, is a vibrant and cosmopolitan metropolis that bridges the gap between East and West. The Hagia Sophia, which was converted back into a museum in the 20th century, stands as a symbol of the city's rich history and cultural heritage. The fall of Constantinople also serves as a reminder of the power of ambition and determination. Mehmed II was a young and ambitious leader who had a vision for his empire, and he was willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goals. His conquest of Constantinople was a testament to his strategic genius and his determination to make the Ottoman Empire a dominant force in the world. But the fall of Constantinople is also a cautionary tale. It shows us how quickly empires can rise and fall, and how easily the balance of power can shift. It's a reminder that history is shaped by the actions of individuals, and that the decisions we make today can have a lasting impact on the world. So, there you have it, the epic story of the fall of Constantinople. It's a tale of ambition, faith, and destiny, and it's a reminder of how quickly the world can change. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of one era and the beginning of another, and it had a profound impact on the religious and cultural landscape of the region. But the legacy of Constantinople lives on. The city, now known as Istanbul, is a vibrant and cosmopolitan metropolis that bridges the gap between East and West. And the Hagia Sophia, which was once a symbol of Christian power and then of Islamic dominance, now stands as a testament to the city's rich history and cultural heritage. Thanks for joining me on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic stories from the world of religious and mythological history. See you next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fall of Constantinople, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more epic stories from the world of religious and mythological history. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And if you're curious about other pivotal moments in history, check out some of our other videos on the rise and fall of empires, epic battles, and religious transformations. Let me know in the comments what other historical events you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep uncovering the mysteries of our past. See you soon. Subscribe now for more epic historical stories and hit the bell to never miss an upload.